Welcome to the bold analysis. The level of political hypocrisy in Mount Kenya, especially the UDA members of parliament, they should be stopped and be called out. Because you cannot and you should not wink with the voter. Many a times, the Mount Kenya and UDA MPs have been arguing that opposition should not make the noise outside parliament because it is in parliament that laws are made and are enacted. So when the whole country converged to resist the housing, the finance bill 2023-2024, they themselves led the politics of us versus them. The politics of those against Ruto and those supporting Ruto. And they chose the side of supporting Ruto. So many political and many analysts argued and really pointed out that the finance bill had some very, had some poison chalice that was going to eat into Mama Mboga. And by that time, they took the shallow approach just to look at the outer side. What am I talking about? There was a levy that was to be introduced for avocado farmers. Avocado farming is one of the farming for me, it's in my place where I'm born back in CI. It's subsistence, ni ya kukula tu. But in Mount Kenya, avocado farming is a commercial activity. They also sell it at commercial level. So there was this tax that was introduced. And the MP from Gatanga, Edward Nyoro, instead of opposing the finance bill and even asking those questions in parliament, first allowed and spent better part of their time praising how finance bill was the best thing that had happened to this country. The finance bill 2023-2024 was the best document that this country ever had since independence. Then when they realized that things are becoming thick, they went back to the people and told the locals that they should not pay that levy. They should not pay that tax.
Should be carried in by the exporter. London, Tesco, Sainsbury's, supermarkets, economy ya Kenya, magoti. Machani mena magoti. No bebe. No tabaki. No igua. Ai kwa mnene yule. I'm so proud. Last year, for you Kenya, why exported matunda ma avocado, ma 20 billion begetio no he murueda washionire besesho akiambia oshumekira chairman wanyu wake are bwana Maura aimeta ukadara giuma hali yako ya mbere ule Maura demwere adwa gatanga na adwa kadara tumekataa demwere London ogora ikorofia isigikiriemwe no mwe bide mangotore tokiba terere kiruge gwetwa ushodi igoti nere wona ngodo gwetwa exporter na nere exporter kirikuligoshore anegera muri wake ikorofia yango ni machache na demwere osho watho Jeragado, wado, de piloteidie modo, timodo teidie wado. Nego la kia mama nyokuo, wado de kilo, oteidie modo, timodo teidie wado. Na kweshidia ado akia reto meaha. Inwete aggregators, na aggregator ne bolemi. Na bolemi show. I make sure that every percent error at Igoti exporter no ramokua. Of course, every percent should be carried in by the exporter.
So that is an event, and that is a public event. That MP is telling avocado farmers that they should resist, they should reject that. Now, rejecting, you should not just reject one. The MPs are genuine about rejection. You should reject finance bill. Finance bill is coming even now in this new. You know what happened is, Venyeli position, not that after it was passed, not that it was being implemented in bits. There's some that they realized we should not even start now. There's some we can wait to start next year, so and so. And so, if they are genuine, don't just pick that which you think you can use to hit Raila. You know, on avocado, it has really caught up with them because they were warned. This document was going to set you against the people, but some chose not to pursue, and of course, use all their time to demean Raila Odinga. And that is why Gadhani Wamshombe is lashing at them and is saying, dear avocado farmers, the electronic tax receipts ETMs was voted and passed by MPs who are now attending meetings telling you not to pay the taxes. Let them go to Parliament and change the Finance Act, which they passed in unison if they mean business. Kameshikana kidogo. And I agree that if those MPs want to fight for those avocado farmers, instead of organizing those meetings and making the poetic talks as projecting themselves as fighting for Mama Mboga. The fighting for Mama Mboga, just the same way they've been hitting the Azimio MPs who leaves Parliament when some unpopular laws are being passed, they should also just go to the same Parliament and repeal the finance bill. And the farmers should actually tell them, you must stop the hypocrisy. Because just consequently, when KRA officials went to the ground and they wanted to create some awareness to teach those locals about how it will work, they were heckled and booed there.
Ambayo imetengenezwa na system ambayo inaitwa EJECTED. Tenene mwendagia avocado mutegwetio marithiti kana mutegwetio maratathi. No tha ici mwendia avocado ni murabataranĩkana kũruta karatathi kana rithiti ĩrĩa ĩrabataranĩka yare. Na sio wewe peke yako inakuguza kama mkulima wa avocado. Na towe wika ĩrahutia ta mũrĩmi wa avocado tondu karigiti kau ni karabatarĩkana ni andu aingi. Inaguza watu ama wakulima aina tofauti tofauti na hata wale ambao wanafanya kazi kidogo, wale tunaita mama mboga. Karibiti kau ni karahutia andu aingi nginya aria tureta andu a mama mboga tondu ni marabatarĩkana kuriha igoti onao. Wale ambao watanunua avocado
wakienda kufanya biashara yao, hiyo karatasi ambayo inaitwa items wataitishwa, na ni Kenya nzima, sio hapa peke yake. Ninawaeleza tu, najua ni sawa. Wacha tutaendelea tu, kwa sababu tusipowaeleza bado mtapatana nayo tu.
So what's the whole point? That is why I'm saying politics, there are people who say people will not eat politics. Mount Kenya are founding themselves, Mount Kenya MPs are founding themselves in between a rock and a hard, a rock and a very hard and a tree. Because they can't move. They have, this is the team that have been spending the better part of their time since 2020 to attack two gentlemen, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. And that careers were actually made on that. A career was made on how you can say very unprintable words against Uhuru Kenyatta, how you can speak harsh about Raila Odinga. But in real time, when the need, and you know, it's a grand betrayal even to them, because the hustler nation, the hustler agenda that was crafted by William Ruto, it was specifically and exclusively crafted to speak to the voter in Mount Kenya. You cannot underestimate that. It was picked to speak to the voter in Mount Kenya. The hustler nation, it was targeting the Mamamboga there. It was targeting the Bodaboda guy there. It was targeting the Mount Kenya, because William Ruto's script was very easy. He just went, I need Mount Kenya, then I get my Kalenjin, so I must find ways I maintain my support in Mount Kenya. Then for the two other Azimio areas, you just deflate Raila's circle by buying Wetangula and Mudavadi and run some unity agenda for something that is not existing, but in real sense, you're just banking on those two tribes, but you don't want to be seen as if you're just banking on those two tribes. So that even if you bribe your way, even if you rig, you will still have the optics of saying, you know what, I got votes from region X, region Y, because I had the S and the Y. And that is why the likes of Amason Kingi were actually brought. But in real sense, the regions that really pushed William Ruto to the top is those two regions, Rift Valley and Central Kenya. Now, let me just show you, there's some very, dark strategies that William Ruto has used in Mount Kenya. And the earlier they notice and undo this, the better. Number one, William Ruto created a proxy enemy to Mount Kenya people in the name of Raila Odinga, because he exploited that weakness. He knew very well that if I lead by attacking Raila, if I make Raila be my enemy, because in real sense, let's speak, during campaigns, the President Ruto used to tell Mount Kenyans that he's being betrayed because of Raila Odinga, because of handshake with Raila Odinga. And so, William Ruto made the MPs in that area believe that, it's not about the governance. The problem is not housing levy. The problem is that Raila Odinga is opposing housing levy. So, without even looking at the substance on what exactly is in this, because Raila has opposed it, you need just to organize a meeting in your constituency, appear in a television or a radio interview, and attack Raila Odinga, that Raila Odinga is an enemy because Raila has opposed it. And Raila's term was used as a smoke screen. So people couldn't think outside the box. People couldn't go beyond the headline. And that is a con game that has been played. And, I agree with the fellows who used to say that some people went to political rallies and told people that we put Raila in wheelbarrow na tumpeleke Bondo. And now the people that say they want to take Raila to Bondo is now heading to Addis Ababa. Sometimes, And that is what really is exposing how politicians normally would wink the public. People believed, there are some people that believe that, Raila will go to Bondo. That is the strategy number 2. I think Ruto has made Mount Kenya to believe that they need Ruto's endorsement for presidency. Now, I want to use a very good example, Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua will worship William Ruto in every instant, cannot question, and will even try to demean any other person who wants to ask Ruto questions. When Mount Kenya MPs were asking Ruto, were going to Ruto directly and asking Ruto for some questions, Rigathi said, you have to go through to Ruto through me. When they were heckling matches, when the public in Mount Kenya were actually showing serious discontent with the conduct of President Ruto in Mount Kenya, they were actually called names. And Rigathi is on record saying, you know what, those are sellouts. We'll call out those who are actually opposing us, those who are not standing with Mount Kenyans. So that is how we've gotten to it, and that worshiping came to a point that you can't undo. And that's how William Ruto has actually woodwinked the Mount Kenya. The endorsement, people, and look at the current transition, the current politics, succession politics that emerged between Ruto and Nyoro. It was all based on who is going to be the kingpin or not. And there are those who believe the way to kingpin is William Ruto's shadow. Number 3, I think Ruto also posted and gave them strategic policy positions to disarm them from opposing government. Let's just look at it. Who is Treasury? CS, Njuguna Ndung'u. Where does Njuguna Ndung'u come from? From Muran'ga. Who is the economic advisor? David Ndii, Kiambu. Who is the head of budget in the office of the budget in the parliament? Ndindi Nyoro, Muran'ga. Who is the majority leader in the National Assembly? Someone who is supposed to whip and pass legislations. Everything on behalf of government. Kimani Chungwa, Mount Kenya. So they have been given. Who is the chairperson of Council of Governors? Anne Waiguru, Mount Kenya. Look at that strategy. So all these fellows have been boxed. They've been boxed and they can't come out. As much as you want to say Ruto is wrong, Ruto is this, you don't have the audacity to come out and say, because you have also been boxed. Number 3, I have seen a strategy where the executive led by President Ruto is giving the MPs some stipend or some money to go and launch some markets and roads. And for so long, I remember when Mudavadi went to Nyeri and said that people don't eat roads. People have always created, and Ruto went to Mount Kenya. Just the recent tour, there were some 3 projects he was doing. Number 1 is launching a road that had been relaunching a road, launching a market, and the other one is some MTC or some polytechnic. That's what the president has been doing in Mount Kenya. Now, that, notwithstanding the fact that the same way they held economic forums, I wish they would do those economic forums and just take one after the other. What exactly have been done? Because in the fullness of time, if people can't come out and ask questions on behalf of the electorates, then they will really face the backlash in the next election. But I still believe the hypocrisy by Mount Kenya MPs is legendary. It needs to be called out, because there is no way you betrayed the voters. There is no way you can come all over and start saying, you want to get it right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Let's meet in the next. Hi guys, so I'm so happy finally the February project is done. I know most of us have been talking about this. We did know it will come to fruition, but I'm in Mama Lucy and I've managed to get 13 out. Yes, I was planning for 7, but who knows, God has another way of doing his own things. That we managed to our to 13, and apart from that, we've also done some food stuff, because these guys hawa mambo wamekuwa hospitali for long na hawajakuwa wakifanya kazi. So what we decided is whatever has remained, we do some food stuff for them, And I'm just so happy that they are going home, wanted to reunite with the rest of their family. Some have been here for long, so I just want to say thank you on behalf of Bold Charity Network, my family, myself, and everyone. In whatever way you've come through this, nasema santeni sana. These women are out. Now I'll just give 2 or 3 chance. Waseme tu kitu moja. Can just say thank you. Tanzania huyu.
Tumeshukuru. Okay, my name is Oduor. Tumeshukuru kwa kuja kututoa huku. Tumekaa huku for long na the bill was too much yenye hatungeweza kuafford. But Bold Charity Network imekuja ikatutoa na tunasema ni asante.
Naitwa Teresia Wanjiru ama Mama Favor. Na nataka kuambia asante kwa sababu bili ilikuwa mob, singeweza kulipa, but kwa ajili ya Mungu ati ni mimi natoka. Asante, God bless you all.
Nani mwingine anaweza ongea? Wewe, sio? Sema kitu. Sema tu asante.
Mimi cha kuwashukuru ni kusema asante kwa Mungu. Tumekuwa huku for a long time. Kama mimi nilidischargiwa on 15, nimeng'ang'ana, nikang'ang'ana, nikapata, nikalipa, nikaambiwa nirudi kwa ward. Saa hii I'm very happy. Niko out, nitaenda sasa kuungana na familia yangu. Asanteni sana.
Mimi naitwa Lydia Chelimo. Bili yangu ilitoka date 16. But singe manage kulipa, but court ameniwezesha nimetoka huku, nitatoka leo. Nimeshukuru sana na nimefurahi.
Yeah, so guys, that was it. I had to give you this confirmation that finally to manage, and may God meet you in the hour of need. I spent 2 days here listening to their stories, and their stories are testament of how we need to come for the society. For all those who participated in this Bold Charity Network, this was our CSR for the month of February. Akimbarikiwe. We will do this next time. Asanteni sana. I'm more happy than them. Asanteni. Sawa?